The Yankee lose.
If you were rooting for the Yankees to lose in the ALDS to the Blue Jays, then you have come to the right place. We are going to dive into the Yankees' failures, shortcomings, and disappointments from this series. If you are a Yankee fan, obviously, this is probably not a place you want to be unless you are a glutton for punishment. Leave your comments down below. Let's dig right into this. One of the marquee matchups, the two superstars, the two name-in-lights players on these teams went head-to-head. Vladdy versus Aaron Judge. And Aaron Judge had a good series. 9 for 15, had the 3-run home run that tied Game 3, kept the Yankees in it. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was up to the task and equally excellent. 9 for 17. But we continue. It's not just that. It's the power. We talk about Judge had the home run that tied it. It was his only home run of this LDS. How many home runs did Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit? 3 of them. So we saw more of a power display from Vladdy. Let's talk about runs driven in. Aaron Judge drove in 6. It's pretty good. Vladdy was better. 9 RBI from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. How about striking out? That was something everybody was putting a spotlight on, putting the microscope over. How many times the Yankees strike out versus how many times the Blue Jays strike out. In this series, Vladdy and Judge both kept those numbers down. Judge, just 3. That's actually pretty good. That is not something that we are going to criticize because only 3 strikeouts in 4 games for Aaron Judge is really good. Vladdy was better. Only 1 strikeout by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in this LDS. Just 1 in 4 games. That's incredible. Now, that's the spotlight on the two superstars. How about Ernie Clement? Certainly, Jazz Chisholm, Ben Rice, Anthony Volpe, Trent Grisham, Paul Goldschmidt combined can do better than Ernie Clement's 9 for 14. 9 for 14? Ernie, the pride of Rochester, New York. Have a series. Certainly, that group of Yankees, those 5 hitters, can combine to collect more hits than Ernie Clement, though they cannot. 8 for 61 combined, those 5 hitters, and again, the focus on the strikeouts. Ernie Clement did not strike out at all in this series. That group of Yankees struck out 23 times. 11 of those 23 belong to Anthony Volpe. But you want to talk about putting the ball in play. If you're going to get out, make the other team make a play. Put them on their heels. Make them do something. Try to have it be a productive out. Ernie Clement, outstanding. Absolutely incredible. And then just a team comparison. The New York Yankees struck out a total of 37 times. The Toronto Blue Jays collectively struck out just 24 times. That takes away, that neutralizes the pitchers in this rotation and that come out of this bullpen that have that has a strength of generating strikeouts and missing bats. It neutralizes those pitchers. It takes the best part of their game off the table. Carlos Rodon. Yeah, I know the Yankees won that game, but no thanks to Carlos Rodon. Cam Schlittler. What did he do against the Boston Red Sox that got the Yankees to this series? 12 strikeouts. Struck out just 2. 2 Blue Jays. So this team not striking out, productive outs, putting the Yankees in a position where they have to make a play. The Blue Jays listen, putting the ball in play is a key component here to why the Blue Jays move on. If you flip this, if the Yankees only struck out 24 times and the Jays struck out 37 times, I think we have a flipped result in this series. When they were behind in the count, again, this just speaks to the lack of strikeouts. 0-1, 0-2, 1-2. Behind in the count. Look, the Yankees did well. A .275 batting average is second best in the divisional round. But look at how good the Blue Jays were. A .340 batting average when they were behind in the count. So it wasn't just productive outs, it was production when they were down in the counts. Let's talk about flexing the muscle, that power that the Yankees bring to the table, right? Certainly the Yankees should hit more home runs than the Toronto Blue Jays. They've got Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Ben Rice, you got Wells, you got Jazz Chisholm, you got home run hitters for days. The Yankees only hit 4. Only 4 home runs in 4 games in this LDS. That is surprising. How'd the Blue Jays do? 9 home runs in this series. Now, when we think about up and down the lineup, guys contributing 4 or more hits. I'm sorry for the whole equal/plus thing. We're working with a limited amount of space here, trying to make it look good. So the number of hitters that had 4 or more hits in this series, Yankees only had 2 of them. It was Aaron Judge, and I believe it was Cody Bellinger. I'm going to look that up real quick in real time. It was Stanton. It was Judge and Stanton on the Yankee side that had 4 or more hits in this series. On the Blue Jays side, 7 players with 4 or more hits. Ernie and Vladdy, both with 9 hits. Dalton Varsho, Addison Barger, Andres Jimenez, Alejandro Kirk, and Nathan Lucas, all with 4 or more hits. How about with runners on? Doesn't happen a ton, so we can bring the number down. How about 2 or more hits with runners on in this series? The New York Yankees had 4 hitters that came through in that situation. The Toronto Blue Jays had 8. 8 different hitters with runners on coming through with 2 or more hits in this series. Vladdy, Ernie, Andres, Nathan, Dalton, Addison, Anthony Santander didn't do a lot in this series, but 2 for 7 with runners on. Miles Straw, 2 for 2. Hitting with runners on, had that hit in Game 4 where he just threw the bat out there, had one hell of a stinger. You can tell by how much the bat vibrated. This Blue Jays team came through with hits, and they came through with hits when it mattered. Runners in scoring position, Yankees 13 for 32, Blue Jays 15 for 44. Now you're going to say, ha, Jim, got you there. Yes, a better batting average with runners in scoring position. Think about that. The New York Yankees lost a series in which they hit .406 with runners in scoring position. The reason why is because the Blue Jays hit .341. And notice how many opportunities there were. The Blue Jays came to bat more times with runners in scoring position, which led to more runs driven in those moments. 17 runs coming through in those at-bats for the Yankees and 24 for the Toronto Blue Jays. It doesn't stop. When we consider the pitching, think about the starters. How does your game begin? What's it like out of the gate? Are your pitchers giving you a chance early, or are you falling behind? The ERA by the starting pitchers. And I know not everybody loves ERA anymore, and I get it, but this tells the story. 10.67 ERA for the New York Yankees starters. 1.8 for the Toronto Blue Jays starters. And now you're going to say, well, Jim, the numbers have to be skewed. The Yankees, the Jays, did they pitch this? The starters pitch the same number of innings? This could be messed up here. 14 and a third to 15 by starting pitchers. It's telling. Getting out of the gate, the Yankees struggled. Now, they won one of those games where the starter gave up a ton of runs, but you're not going to win a series if that keeps happening. And I was paying attention to this as the series was going on. The best that the Yankees had to throw at you, I think we can all agree, in the bullpen, Bednar and Williams came in pitching really well, were probably the best. And we saw what Cam Schlittler did against the Red Sox, so he was their best, even though the Yankees have Max Fried. But Max Fried was not successful against this Blue Jays team. So in the end, the best that the Yankees had to throw at the Blue Jays didn't even debut in this series until we got back to the Bronx. Bednar and Williams didn't see them until Game 3. Cam Schlittler didn't pitch until Game 4. That is really that's not Aaron Boone's fault, the Cam Schlittler situation. That's just circumstance. The fact that the Yankees had to play in round 1, had to go to a third game, led to Cam Schlittler not being able to be deployed until late in this series. And when we're out there, we see them coming through. Not a run on the board against Bednar, Williams, and only 2 runs on Schlittler. By all accounts, we talked about the starting pitching. That starting pitching ERA came down drastically with Cam Schlittler's performance. Now you're saying, well, Jim, the first 2 games were blowouts. Well, I'd argue this. In Game 1, it was 2-1 heading into the bottom of the 7th. We know it got away from them from there, but why not there? Why not keep the game close with your best? Game 1, 2-1, heading into the 7th. The Jays were up. In Game 2, the Blue Jays had put up 5 runs after 3 innings, but as you're feeling like, this could be getting away from us, don't you want to go to one of your best guys right there to stop the bleeding? Because remember, the Yankees would score 7 runs in Game 2, but did not go to their best in that moment. For the Toronto Blue Jays, their best, it was Gausman, it was Yasavage, Seranthony Dominguez, 3 appearances in this division series, not a run allowed. You saw him early, and for Dominguez, you saw him often. Dominguez pitched in 3 of the 4 games. Gausman went in Game 1. Yasavage went in Game 2. 1 run in on Gausman, nothing on Yasavage, nothing on Dominguez. Altogether led us to a series where the Toronto Blue Jays win 3-1 and outscored the Yankees 34-19. In so many areas, in so many facets of the game, the Blue Jays were better. Whether we're looking at team-centric, individual-centric, the Toronto Blue Jays just flat out outplayed the New York Yankees in this series. There was no cheating involved. This was just a Yankees team that ran into a better team. And it's fascinating because I think the Blue Jays picked up a short bandwagon because I ran into it in my daily life, on my phone with text messages, with you guys that I see in the live chat. A lot of people not necessarily rooting for the Blue Jays, but just loving the fact that the Yankees were losing and they were losing in the manner that they were losing. I wonder if anybody hops on the bandwagon and continues to ride as this October continues. That will be interesting and fascinating to see. But that is going to do it for this one, everybody. I do appreciate you coming in and spending time with the channel. Ballcap Nation, I salute you. 100 Club, an extra salute to you guys. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Make sure to smash that like on the way out, everybody. And remember, if it's low, let it go. And if it's high, let it fly. I'll catch you next time.